Hello, Rockridge. So this is Miss Gonzalez, and this is the artwork you guys are going to be doing for this week. This is going to be for first grade and second grade. So first and second grade, you guys are going to be doing the same assignment for this week, okay? Which is this really fun little ice cream man or ice cream snowman. Yeah, ice cream snowman. And we have some snowflakes. We have some of our ice cream slash snow at the bottom and fun little hat and scarf. So we're going to go ahead and get started. I would like to say if you are in a different grade that is not first and second grade and you want to do this piece of artwork, you are more than welcome to do it. Just make sure that you are doing your assigned lesson for the week first before you do this as an extra art project, okay? And first and second grade, if you finish this a little early, let's say on Thursday, you can go ahead and either do one of the extra art projects that I have on my YouTube channel, or you can pick one of the other grade level artworks and do one of those, okay, if you finish early. So we're gonna go ahead and get started. We need some paper, and you're going to need either a Sharpie or a black marker. You could even use a pen. So I'm gonna go ahead and use the Sharpie. Also, I'm not starting off with a pencil, but I would like for you guys at home to start off with a pencil. We always start with pencil, and then we outline it with our black utensil, whether that's the regular marker or the Sharpie. To save time, I'm going to just start off with my Sharpie. So, oh, and make sure when you are using a black marker Sharpie, you have maybe some extra paper underneath just so you don't get it on your table. So we are going to start off with our cone. So I'm going to go in the middle of my paper, okay, and I think I'm just going to do a little dot right there so I know that that's going to be my middle, and I'm going to start off with my ice cream cone. So I'm going to go ahead and like that. So I do kind of a straight line. It's a little wavy, and that's fine. And then I'm going to come down to make a triangle shape. Okay. And mine kind of went off the page there. You can see on this one it didn't. That may or may happen, and it's fine. So the next thing we're going to do curved lines. So I'm just leaving a little bit of space in between each line, because right now we're doing the marks of our waffle cone. Okay, so I think that's good. You know, I think I'm even going to do an extra one right up here. So they're a little bit curved, like I was saying, and then we're going to go the opposite direction. So now we're going to go this way and we're going to curve. And notice I'm not doing a ton of lines. Okay, so let's see. Going across, I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 lines. And then going horizontally, I have 1, 2, 3. Oh, I think I'm counting the same lines. My bad. Going vertically, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So 7 going horizontally, vertically we have 5, and I think on here 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It's very similar. What we don't want is to have a million tiny little lines like this. Let me show you. I'm going to draw a little mini one. We don't want this. Just kind of almost looks like a crazy checkerboard or tic-tac-toe, and waffle cones aren't really like that, so we don't want to do it like that. All right, now that we have our waffle cone done, we're going to start with our snowman, which is also kind of like ice cream too, since he's in our waffle cone. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to make my bottom half, and I'm going to make it wavy, and I'm even going to have some of it kind of hanging off the side, because my ice cream cone is going to be a little melted, and I'm even going to draw some raindrops that are going to be part of the ice cream dripping. So we want drops of ice cream coming down, and again, to get that, you're just going to do like raindrop shapes, okay? So got my bottom. Now I'm going to do my second, and I'm doing mine just a little bit wavy, because again, ice cream isn't perfect. And last but not least, we have our head. Now for our head, I'm just gonna do a regular circle, or semicircle, because I'm not completing it obviously. But I didn't want to make it wavy. I'm gonna leave the head pretty circular. All right, so now I'm gonna go ahead and add some details to our snow ice cream man. So the first thing I want to do are the eyes. So I'm gonna do 1, 2. So 2 circles for the eyes, and I'm gonna add another circle inside of it, because what we're gonna end up doing is coloring in, and I'm gonna go ahead and do it right now to show you, this part black so that we have a little highlight in our eyes. Now if you want to do your eyes a little bit differently, that is totally fine and up to you. I'm going to do mine like this. All right, so we have that. Now we're gonna make our nose, and we're gonna make a carrot nose, very traditional of a snowman, and I'm just gonna do 1, 2, 3 little lines, because carrots have those lines on them. And now we're gonna do the mouth. And typically when you're making a snowman, you just try and find some rocks or pebbles outside to make that smile. And you know what, I'm gonna color that in. I didn't do it on this one, but I think it looks better colored in with black. Now, before we get to our buttons, we are going to add a scarf. So to do that, it's super, super easy. You're going to do a curved line, almost like a smiley face, right underneath, oops, let me move this paper, right underneath the top middle half, okay? So go ahead and do that. If I'm going too fast, please guys, pause it so you can catch up. You don't need to be going at the same speed as me at all. Then what we're gonna do is go up and like that. So that's gonna be one piece of the scarf, and then we're gonna do the other one, maybe come in this way. Again, we're gonna come inwards, like we're doing a V again, or an M. An M is a good way to look at it, and we're gonna come back. So now we have our scarf. Now, I kind of wanted to make mine like candy cane, but if you don't want to do that, you could do it differently. You could do polka dots. You could still do stripes, but you could just color it differently. I'm going to go ahead and follow what I did here, and I'm going to do stripes. Okay. And again, I'm not doing a million lines. I did 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, and I'm going to do the same thing. 1, 2, 3. Okay, otherwise if you add too many, it's gonna get confusing. Now that we've done that, we can add our buttons. So now I'm gonna go do one right there, do another here, and one more. So we have 3 buttons. You may have a little bit more room to add more, or you may only be able to fit 2. It kind of depends on how big you drew your ice cream man, okay? So now that we've had that, I'm going to add a hat. Now you could do the traditional hat, which I'll go ahead and show you right here for a snowman. So if this is the snowman head, you have your eyes. I'm just gonna do this really quickly so you can see the difference. Have our nose, and all right, there we go. So a traditional snowman hat would be an oval, as best you can, okay, it doesn't need to be perfect at all. And then we're going to do a square on top, okay, so kind of like a top hat. You could even do a rectangle right here and then do a square right in the middle for like a little buckle. So you could do that hat. You could do a hat that looks this, so kind of like a cloud, and maybe a little ball on the top. I've seen a lot of hats like that, and maybe could do polka dots on it. Okay, you could just do almost like a little beanie hat and do stripes coming up. You can do whatever hat you want, okay? So I'm gonna bring back my snowman guy. And I think I'm going to do kind of like a Santa hat that I did there. So again, I'm just going to do my cloud shape. Now this is coming off my paper, as you can see. Now right here, you can see a little bit more of it than you're going to see on this example, because I have my guy way more high up than I have here. Here he's a little bit lower, which is why you can see the hat a little better. So that's okay. We're just going to pretend as if it was really there, and then we're going to do a little puff right there. Okay, little like hat, little puff. Okay, so now we are going to, let's see, we have our face, we have our hat, we have our scarf, we are missing our arm. So a lot of times for snowman you find sticks. So I am going to do like a backwards L. I'm just going to go straight and then go up. I did it differently here. For this I just went straight up, but I kind of wanted his arm bent. And I'm going to go 1, 2, 3. Now we need to do copycat lines, okay? So let's watch. I'm going to just do exactly what I did. I'm just going on the outside of that. So now we have a thick stick, and here I'm just going to do that. So now he has thick fingers and a thick arm. We're going to do the same thing over here. If you want, you could have this arm going down if you don't want to deal with trying to go behind the scarf. That's fine too. In fact, I'll show you how to do that. Maybe we'll go down this time, make him a little silly. We're going to do the copycat. Oh, I forgot to do the fingers. Then we're going to do the copycat line, come straight down. And then here, we're just going to come out for the fingers. All right. I kind of like him like that. I think that's really fun. So now we have our ice cream snowman done. Okay, now we are going to worry about our ice cream snow at the bottom. So I'm going to go ahead and just do a wavy line at the bottom, and then I'm going to come here and do some overlapping lines. So it looks like we have a lot of snow in the background. Okay, and then I'm going to stop there because we don't want too much. Then we are going to do our snowflakes. Now I know these snowflakes may look a little difficult, but they're really, really easy once we break them down. So we're going to go ahead and do that. So the first thing you want to do, and again, you could do this with a Sharpie or you could do it with a pen here. I did it with the pen. I did it with a felt pen, which I think if you use a regular pen, it would actually be better, just a regular plain black pen. When I added the watercolors, it made it bleed. If you use a regular Sharpie, that won't happen. So I'm going to start off by doing a circle. Okay, so now we're going to do one straight line going up, another straight line going down, and then one on the right side, one on the left side. So just like with the arms, we're going to do copycat lines. So I'm going to do another one right beside that, another one right beside the right one on the bottom, one on the left hand side. So it's almost, 1, 2, 3, 4. So we have 4 on each side. So they're almost like tiny little rectangles too. It's a good way to think of it. So now we're going to do another small circle, another one on this side, another one on this side, and one right here. Now we're going to add almost like teardrops or raindrops on the sides. So on this top one, I added 2 on the bottom, 2 up top. I'm going to do the same thing on this right hand side. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. So we have our 2 at the top, and we're going to do our bottom ones. And now we have a cool little snowflake. Well, this is actually a big snowflake, but it's really fun because when we color the background, we're going to leave these white since snowflakes are white, and you can do all different sized ones. So right here, I'm going to do a smaller one. So I'm just going to draw a little smaller. I'm going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, like you're making an X, and then I'm going to come up again, making my copycat lines, and our little circles on the end of each of them. And then I'm going to do my 2 raindrops at the bottom and 2 at the top on each of our sides. Now, you can see that I almost don't have room on this side to do the bottom one because I'll run into that one. So I'm just not going to do it. And that's totally fine. Sometimes you run out of room and don't want to knock into other pieces. So now I have my other snowflake. Now you're going to fill your entire background with snowflakes. So here I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I have 10. Now these kind of take a little bit of time, so you're just going to take your time. And I'd like to at least see 5 in your background. So you could do double that like I have here, or you could just do half. It's really up to you. I'm just going to go ahead and do a couple more here. Now you can go ahead and speed this up on your computer if you already get the hang of it and you don't need to see this, but I'm just going to finish this one up and then we will move on to the coloring portion, which is going to be a lot of fun. So got our 2 up there, 2 on the bottom, 2 up here, and 2 on the bottom. Again, these are kind of turning out almost a little bigger than the ones on here. Here you can really see the difference between the different sizes, but because I'm using a marker instead of a pen on this one, just a little harder to tell. And it's cool because I left a little bit of space here, so this snowflake looks very different than these two. And yeah, so I'm going to leave it like that since you guys have seen now how to make the snowflakes. But just remember, you want to fill in all of the background with them. Okay, so now what we're going to do is we are going to make sprinkles, because even though this is a snowman, he's in an ice cream cone. So we're going to add toppings to him. So I'm going to go ahead and get, let's see. Well, actually, before we do that, we are going to go ahead and no, I'm sorry. We are going to do the sprinkles first. So I'm going to get my pinkish color. Let's see, red violet. We're going to get yellow, and I need one more color. I need orange. So I have my 3, oops, that's purple. I have my 3 colors for my sprinkles. So to make your sprinkles, you're just going to go around in all different directions. We don't want them all lined up in a row. So I have some kind of coming down, I have some going up, I have one sideways, and I'm literally just making tiny little dash marks. Okay, and I'm going to do it on each level of my snowman. So we did the bottom level, we're going to do the middle, and then we're going to do the top. Okay, and we're going to start with one color first. So kind of coming in here. Perfect. Now I'm going to add my yellow. Making sure I'm getting in these empty spaces. And we want a good amount of each color. So remember, don't do a whole bunch of orange and then only do 2 of yellow, for example. And if you want to do different colored sprinkles, that's fine. The only color I would not suggest doing is blue. For obvious reasons, that is going to be the color of our ice cream. All right. Perfect. Now, last but not least, we have our red violet color, and we're going to go in these empty spaces where we could use a couple sprinkles, and we're going to do this color. Again, we're just making tiny little dashes. You can get some on these drops that are coming down. Make sure you don't get the buttons or accidentally the scarf. We just want to get the ice cream snow that we're doing. Okay, I think that is a very good amount of sprinkles. And now Well, you know what? We still have to do our bottom. Let's do that. I'm going to start off with this color first. I like starting with one color and then going back and adding the other two colors instead of switching back and forth and back and forth. And this makes it easier to know where you should be putting the other colors too, so you don't have them all right next to each other. All right, now we're going to go with orange. And we'll finish up with our yellow. We're just going to fill it in where we see white. All right, perfect. So we're done with our sprinkles. Now we need to do that ice cream snow. Now, if you guys can see this, we're looking at the side. So notice how it is light blue in the middle, but on the edges of our snowman, it's darker blue, okay? So we're gonna do the same thing. Now, what I don't want you guys to do is go over this entire thing really, really hard, because yellow and blue, when mixed together, make green. Let me show you that. If you had your sprinkles, I'm going to do them really thick and kind of big so you can really see this. And you were to just to go over it like that. Look what happens to your yellow sprinkles. They turn this like limeish green color. So we don't want to do that. What we want to do is have our thick sprinkles, and we are going to go around them. Now, obviously this takes way more time, but it makes it look a lot nicer. You guys see the difference there? Okay, so let's go ahead. So what I want you guys to start by doing first, and that's not just for the yellow, it's for the other colors as well. If you go over it with blue, it's really kind of hard to see it. Okay, so we want to outline, or not even outline, but go around the edges with the blue, and we're going to press down a little harder because we want it to be a little darker. Okay, so I'm going to just press a little harder than I normally would so you can really see that nice dark blue. And I didn't do it on the inside right here, but I think I'm going to, because why not? All right, perfect. And then I'm going to go on this outside part. And I don't think we need to do it where the scarf is. I didn't do it on here, and I think it turned out nice. So I'm going to go right under here and do it a little dark. All right, perfect. Now let's go around our head. Again, making sure we're doing it nice and dark. All right, now we're going to go very lightly, which means easing up on the pressure we're applying to our crayon. So that means just going very lightly. And I'm trying to avoid my sprinkles as best as I can, because we don't want to turn our sprinkles a ucky color by going over them with the blue. So you guys see how I'm doing this here? Going very lightly, gently, and I'm taking my time. I'm not rushing. And that is how you avoid accidentally getting into the sprinkles. Now, if you do accidentally get it on the sprinkles, that's totally fine. No big deal. You can actually even erase it. Since you're going so lightly, you won't even be able to tell. Okay? So, see the difference between how dark I did it and then how light? And it just gives it this overall really nice effect. So you're going to go ahead and finish up coloring this one, this one, this one, all of your snowman, and then your bottom. Now, I'm going to go ahead and use marker for my scarf and for my hat. Now, if you do not have markers, you only have crayons, or maybe you only have colored pencils, then use that. if you did not have crayons to do your snow right here, your snow ice cream, that's fine. You can use markers and maybe just leave the inside white. So if you're doing it candy cane like mine, we're gonna do it in nice even strokes. See how I'm coloring this? I'm picking up my marker each time, and I'm doing it in a pattern. So red, white, red, white. Same thing when you get here. You can just choose. You can be like, you don't need to be like red, white, this needs to be red. You can leave this one white and do this one red. And then leave that one white and leave this one red. You could do this one red and then start your pattern here, okay? Now for the arms, you could use markers, crayons, or colored pencils, and I did mine brown because if you're using sticks, they would be brown. And now we're going to move on to our background. Now I know I did not finish this, but you guys get the idea and know how it's supposed to look. So again, pause this video so you can go ahead and finish coloring what you need to on that. I will show you one more thing with the waffle cone before we move into the background actually. So let me get my crayons, and I'm going to get a brown crayon. So just like the snow ice cream, we're going to press down really hard on the edges. Okay, so my left side, I just did it pretty dark, and I'm going to do the top side, and I'm pressing down hard to make it look dark. And I'm going to do my right side now, same way. Okay. Now you can go ahead, and we're not going to go crazy up, down, we're going in one direction. Anytime you're coloring, whether it's with markers, crayons, colored pencils, you don't want to start by going up, down, then going side to side and going crazy. You want to start in one direction and stay that way so that you don't have crazy marks. And it all looks even and nice. So now I'm just going to keep filling this cone in like so. And now you can see the difference in the value. So that's what we've been doing this whole time, is working on our value. And value is the difference between light and dark with something. So dark on the sides and then nice and light in the middle. Same thing, dark on the sides and then nice and light in the middle. It gives it a nice effect. It looks a little bit more realistic and detailed. So now let's move on to our background. For our background, we're going to use some watercolors. If you do not have watercolors though, please do not feel like you cannot complete your artwork without it. What you are going to do is you are going to get markers, crayons, or colored pencils and color in your background. Your whole background should be colorful. The only thing that should be white is your snowflakes, okay? All right, so again, we're gonna just pretend that our snowman ice cream is already colored and at the bottom of our snow ice cream. And we're just going to do a little bit of our background. So you're gonna get your paintbrush wet first if you are using watercolors. Then you're gonna go ahead and pick your colors. Now for mine, I did nice warm colors because I thought it would be a nice contrast between the cool colors that we had on our ice cream snow. All right, so I think I'm gonna do the same thing. I'm going to go ahead and get some red. Now notice I'm going very lightly. I'm not slamming it and pressing it down. That not only ruins the brush, but it makes holes in your palette. Now this paper is thick watercolor paper. You could use any type of thick paper. If you don't have that, I did this one on regular computer paper, just printer paper, very thin generic paper. So if you are using the same thing I am, make sure that you don't use as much water, because the more water you use on this paper, it kind of makes it super soggy and it makes it really easy to make holes in it. So see how intricate these snowflakes are? I know it's going to be really hard to try and make sure you get in them. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to do a circle around it. I'm just going to make a circle around my snowflake and leave that inside white. And that's totally fine. If you want to try and get in the details, that's okay too. But if that's a little too hard for you and you're afraid you're going to just accidentally color in your snowflake, then you can do a circle around it. You could do your snowflakes blue if you wanted with crayon. Let me actually show you that on this side. Get the blue out. So I'm going to color in the snowflake. Nice aqua blue. Making sure I'm just getting the snowflake so don't accidentally go outside the lines. Okay, so you could do it like that, which I actually think looks pretty cool. And I'm gonna get my grid again. So now if you accidentally get it on the blue or on the snowflake, you can't tell because the crayon is resisting the watercolor, which means there's really no way to mess up. To whereas if you kept it white and you accidentally went on top of it like I just did right now, your snowflake is going to turn whatever color that you did in the background. In this case, it's red, unless you're super, super careful. But if you're scared about that, this is a great alternative or a different way to do it, okay? So you could have your snowflakes white and just be really careful going around them, or you could do the whole circle around them. Like you can even see right here, I didn't go all the way there because I was afraid I might get watercolor in it, or you can make it a little easier for yourself and just color them in a nice blue. Okay, so this is how you guys are going to do it. You can do more than one color for your background. In this example, I chose yellow, red, and purple, and I blended them very nicely. Remember, every time you get a new color in here, you have to rinse your brush. Otherwise, you're going to ruin the colors in your watercolor palette. Okay? So I hope you guys enjoyed doing this piece of artwork with me. Again, try and break this up. Do not, on Monday, do the entire thing all in one sitting, okay? We don't do that when you guys are in art class. We break things up from Monday all the way to Friday, okay? So let's make sure we're doing that. If you do finish early though, that's fine. Just make sure you're keeping keeping this with you, because on a Friday we're going to do a little art show and tell via Zoom or Google Classroom, whichever one your teacher uses, to show off our artwork. And if you did finish early and decided to do an extra piece of artwork or one from a different class, save that too so we can show that off. Okay, I'd love to see your guys' artwork. All right, thank you.